Alright, so let's talk about the top 10 upcoming games in 2014. These are my personal choices of the 10 most interesting looking titles of next year for whatever platforms, and really they're not in any particular order. So let's begin. The first one, number 1, is Toukiden. It's a third-person monster hunting game which lets you fight in teams against fantasy monsters in a medieval Japanese-style setting. Interesting game for something different, and you know, the handheld crowd. I mean, it's always nice to see these type of titles. It's actually supposed to be released for the PS Vita and the PSP. It already came out in mid-2013 in Japan, but has yet to be released in North America. PS Vita and the PSP, and yes, they still are releasing PlayStation Portable titles, incredibly enough. So that's kind of cool. I mean, they really want to tap into that Sony market. There's still a good amount of people that still play PSP, including myself. It's a cool game, yeah. Monster hunting has really exploded, and this one is more of a medieval thing where, you know, compared to the other ones, this one is more sort of like kind of like a throwback, and you know, more of an ancient feel to it. And I'm excited. I mean, the game looks cool. Number 2 is Murdered, Sole Suspect. Yes, Murdered. We haven't really seen much besides trailers in this title. It is a interesting looking game where a detective gets killed. He's the protagonist, and then he becomes a ghost somehow. His spectral remains, his consciousness is still around, and he has to fight demons, these creatures, and in order to solve his own murder as well, you go through this plot, this campaign, and this could be one of the best games of 2014. You never know. An underrated game. I mean, it's an action-adventure style with some puzzle elements, apparently, and it's supposed to come out sometime in 2014. Scheduled for release on the PC and the PS3 and the 360 as well. So it's a 7th gen type of game, not on the Xbox One or the PS4. So this would lead me to believe that this will come out in 2014. Like, it can't really wait that much longer, especially if it's not going to come out for the next gen. One of the later titles, you know, the last legs of the current 7th generation. Number 3, Infamous Second Son. Alright, another installment in the open world style, kind of a superhero game with the powers and everything. Third person action elements. You know, if you guys have played the Infamous games, you know what I'm talking about. Really, I'm just excited for this, just because it's got that gameplay. I'm more interested with the gameplay, the stylistic offerings over any of the storyline and the characters. All of that is just like second banana for me. You know, it's just about the style of it, the whole superhero powers, open world, kicking ass, jumping, building, climbing, that kind of thing. Because, you know, I'm a fan of games like the original Infamous, Hulk, Ultimate Destruction, and Prototype. You know, those are the stuff I'm into, and it's cool to see another one, especially a next-gen installment. This one's scheduled for release in March 2014 on the PS4. Alright, coming in at number 4. Castlevania Lords of Shadow 2, sequel to the original 2010 action-adventure game. This is more open world, actually. Apparently has a longer storyline than the first one, and then the protagonist, Gabriel Belmont, is now Dracula. So you can control Dracula in this open world style game. And it just sounds like it's going to be a bigger experience. I mean, the first one was a linear, maybe a comparable, you know, God of War style of game. It's scheduled for release in late February 2014 for PS3, 360 PC, another one for the 7th generation. Number 5 is Titanfall. This one is an upcoming sci-fi shooter FPS that lets you engage combat on foot or inside robotic mechs. It's a Microsoft exclusive, for now at least, and it might seriously switch attention from the PS4 to the Xbox One. Like, this might actually draw and cause more Xbox One sales. I don't expect Titanfall to be a killer app or a revolutionary shooter or anything like that, but it does look like a fun experience. Just don't get your hopes up and, this will be like the greatest next evolution in shooter. I don't think that's the case. It looks more of really the familiar setting, the familiar shooting, the sci-fi thing. You're just entering mechs, this robotic vehicle, really. Coming out scheduled for March 2014, 360, Xbox One, and the PC. Number 6 is Yaiba Ninja Gaiden Z, or Ninja Gaiden Z, however you want to pronounce it. It's an action/ninja game, supposedly filled with lots of blood, more of a cartoonish style. Lets you play a cool alternative ninja-style character instead of Hayabusa. We've seen Hayabusa a million times. This time you got Yaiba Kamikaze, and he's the protagonist. He's basically a cyborg ninja. He's got a robotic body. I should say robotic body parts. Just parts of his body is like mechanical, cybernetic. And he wants to take revenge on Ryu Hayabusa, because actually it was Ryu who destroyed his left arm and his eye, so he wants to take revenge of that. That looks pretty good. A straightforward action slash type of thing. Supposed to come out in late February and early March 2014 as well. PS3, 360, PC, and iOS. Another, 7th gen game. Coming in at number 7 is Destiny. This is basically a shared world shooter with some MMO elements, and it has this interesting mythic sci-fi open world type of thing where the story is that the last remaining humans on Earth, they gotta fight invading aliens. And I like the idea of like this futuristic golden age where the Earth kind of had this surge of advancement in technology, and then they colonized other planets in the solar system, so they spread out. But then the collapse happened. This collapse, which basically caused this, civilization to have a downfall. And so now they gotta fight for survival because the humans are being attacked by the aliens. It sounds very Halo-esque, even the design of the characters, but it looks interesting because you never know what's going to happen with this multiplayer thing. I mean, apparently you can make games just like that anytime you want. People can jump in. There's some sort of a tier system where, people are matched up in a more fair manner, like based on their skill level or something like that. And it's not going to be your traditional, like, MMO type of game. It has elements of that, but it looks interesting. This might even be better than, like, Titanfall, to be honest. This one really looks unique compared to a game like Titanfall, but it's something to watch out for. Coming out in September 2014, PS3, 360, PS4, and Xbox One. So all the platforms, the generations. Notice that there's no, like, Wii U release, which is a shame, because this really could, Destiny really should be released for the Wii U as well, but what are you gonna do? Number 8 is Thief. Thief, right. I think a lot of people are already underestimating this game, but this is a pretty cool looking stealth game. Developed by Eidos Montreal. They did the Deus Ex. I think they did Tomb Raider as well, the reboot. You can control Master Thief Garrett in this choice-driven, dark fantasy setting reboot of the older, Thief games. So it's just a reboot of the Thief series. I'm getting tired of that word reboot. By the way, it's like everything has to be a fucking reboot. And the word itself has been played out, reboot, it's just, come on. But yeah, it's set to be released in late February 2014, so you don't have to wait that long. It's going to come out on all the platforms, 7th gen, PC, and 8th generation, PS4 and Xbox One. Except for the Wii U, again, so. Coming in at number 9, Dark Souls 2, action RPG sequel to the first Dark Souls. Really, it's the third game in the Souls series. I still consider Demon Souls as the official, like, first one. It might not be canonically, but it still is, like, it might as well be. I hope it's... I don't know, I wish you could do more things in the game, you know, I mean, I wish just more options of gameplay, instead of just the, okay, third person, and then raising your stats, and the difficulty and all that. But I don't even really want to think too much about this game, because... honestly, I still haven't completed the first Dark Souls 1. I still gotta get through that in its entirety. But to have another Dark Souls 2, that's cool. It seems like they're milking it for what it's worth, and so this is sort of like the final one. It's like, okay, because it's gonna come out for the PS3 and the 360 and the PC, it's not a next-gen game. This one is more of a, okay, here's another installment, because the Soul series have been so successful anyway. Here's another 7th gen final game. And last but not least, number 10 is God Eater 2. God Eater 2. This one is an action RPG style game. Takes place 3 years after the original one called God's Eater Burst. Originally, the story was set in this post-apocalyptic Japan where you fight large monsters called origami with a weapon called the God Arc. And the God Arc is really the only thing that works against these monsters. It's basically a third-person monster hunting game, it really is, and it's kind of like Toukiden. And all these games like Monster Hunter, they become really popular, and this one looks pretty cool. Again, this one is another handheld type of game, God Eater 2. And this was already released in Japan in November of this year, but it's scheduled for release next year in 2014 for North America. And that's it. That's my top 10 choice for next year's upcoming games. Yeah, that's pretty much it. It looks pretty sweet. Some of these games look really good. I'm excited. I'm curious